One of the few movie franchises that I love is the John Wick series. The Keanu Reeves starring action movies have been my favorite since the first movie. And if you're unfamiliar with the series, the vague summary is that the movies follow a former hitman, John Wick, as he gets forced back into the criminal life trying to get revenge on all of the people that have done him wrong single-handedly. Well, with some supporting characters along the way because, well, who wouldn't want to be in the same room with Halle Berry? These movies are full of some of the best fist and gunfights seen in modern movies. The story is captivating and everything about the movie will keep you at the edge of your seat if it's your first time watching. And even though game adaptations from movies are mostly something of the past, if you're a fan of John Wick, I'm sure you would give any studio the green light to make a game based on the movies. I mean, think about it. This series has everything that you could wish for in a good action game. The gunfights, the story, the scenery, the Keanu Reeves. I mean, that alone would sell me. Needless to say, a game based on the character of John Wick would be welcome if done right. Well, as a John Wick fan, I have some news to share with any other John Wick fan that is watching. And that news being that a John Wick video game was mentioned by the CEO of Lionsgate, the owner company of John Wick. The CEO, Jon Feltheimer, claims that they are actively trying to pursue a AAA title based on John Wick. Let's look into it. Feltheimer stated, "I don't want to get ahead of myself here, but we believe that there is a big AAA game to be made out of John Wick. We have been fielding proposals. We are certainly interested in moving forward, but I don't want to say anything more about that at this time." Now, this is pretty cool to speculate about because, well, it's unclear what kind of path they will take with the game if it officially hits production. If it follows a story, it'll likely be one of its own so that it separates from the movies, which I am really hoping for. Just based on the John Wick films, I can say that Lionsgate knows how to hire good writers, so if they make a separate story, I'm sure it's going to be nothing less than epic. I'd also hope that Keanu Reeves himself would voice the character in the game because, well, in the past he's expressed his comfort with video game voice acting and, well, just overall participation. Just in the recent Cyberpunk 2077 game, he voice acted the character Johnny Silverhand, one of the main characters in the game, and, well, it's literally Keanu Reeves in the face. So I'm sure he'd be on board with voice acting and maybe even mocapping the character based on his own film. But if not, you know, I just hope whoever they choose isn't corny, bro, because imagine if they take one of the voice actors from the Quarry game to recreate John Wick.
Right here in the podcast, man. Cool story, bro.
What may come as a surprise to some is that if this game does release, it wouldn't be the first John Wick game. The actual first game based on John Wick was the 2019 John Wick 𝘖𝑗, an action strategy game. And this game was okay, but if I'm honest, the type of game style it had didn't do the John Wick franchise justice. Either the budget wasn't there, or they tried their absolute best to not make it like some sort of Hitman clone. But with a character based on films like this, a simple third person would do just fine, obviously with its own twist so it doesn't feel too generic. But even if it's not a third person, I'm sure Lionsgate now has the assets it needs to create a good John Wick game regardless of the genre. And that's what I'm excited to see in the future. So hopefully they continue to pitch this game into existence. But in the meantime, I'm gonna get ready for John Wick 4. So what do you guys think about this announcement, man? Are you excited for a John Wick game? You know, feel free to leave a comment down below. As always, make sure you leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you on the next one.